Coal is one of the most transported commodities and has been the backbone of the American railroad system for the last 60 years. One of the major innovations to the transportation of coal has been the rotary dumpable aluminum coal gondola. Developed in the 1980s, Bethlehem Steel Corp., later Johnstown America, introduced the Bethgons that would later become the best-selling rail car for the company with over 70,000 examples. Conrail took innovation to another level by using engineering drawings to produce Bethgons using stainless steel over aluminum and conventional carbon steel hoppers. The stainless steel cars handled the eastern coal better with its higher moisture content, all while providing a lighter car than carbon steel and doubling the expected service life. ScaleTrains announced production of the Bethgon in October 2020 for the rivet counter line with the Conrail G52X class as the flagship model. The cars arrived stateside and began shipping to customers in August 2021. The announcement only contained models for the Conrail G52X with two paint schemes, one in gray for the first stainless experimental units, with the rest of the cars produced in the oxide red color. A total of 25 cars were produced in the first run, one gray and 24 oxide red. And the paint schemes best represent the as-delivered look. The minimum radius for these cars is 18 inches, but a radius of 22 inches or greater is recommended. MSRP for the gondolas is $41.99, but ScaleTrains gives a standard discount to $32.99, and when purchasing 12 or more, the bulk pricing goes down to $29.99. The car that we'll be reviewing today is one of the red oxide cars, and the prototype was built in August of 1997. A total of 600 cars were built for the G52X class. One of the first things you notice when you receive the car is the amount of details, both separately applied and finely molded on details. Starting at the A end of the car, the first thing to notice is the amount of rivet details on the corner braces on the top of the tub, and even though the rivets are molded on, they're extremely fine and to scale. The separately applied metal grab irons form a ladder on the left side of the end panel and are painted to match the car body oxide red. The rivet details also continue on to the end panels and around the center and corner posts. Several other separately applied metal grab irons are installed on the model for the end cage details as well. More of the standard features are the coupler cut bars molded in a brown plastic. The coupler cut bar is attached to the coupler box under the die-cast semi-scale Type E coupler. Also attached to the draft gear box is the trainline air hose with associated plumbing and angle cock. The air hose's tip is painted silver over the black hose and is molded in plastic. The B end of the car is quite a bit more busy with all the associated braking details on the end sills and tucked up under the end cage. There's a large number of separately applied metal drop-style grab irons making a ladder to the brake wheel, and there's an additional couple on the bottom sill end piece. The distinct difference in the B end of the car is the addition of the brake wheel assembly. The brake wheel assembly also has an etched metal platform to operate the brake wheel on the prototype. The brake wheel assembly connects via a chain and linkage system that connects to the rest of the braking system under the end cage. The end cage details are similar to the A end with more separately applied metal grab irons around the end of the car. Other details like the coupler cut bar, semi-scale coupler, and air hoses are more standard ScaleTrains feature and match the A end of the car. The majority of the braking system components are tucked up under the B end of the car and are fairly difficult to see. One of the easier to see pieces is the air reservoir mounted up against the car and body panel. The retaining valve is right next to the air reservoir, and the identification of the valve is printed on the corner bottom sill. The other major component that can easily be seen is the air piston that connects to the brake linkage on the outside of the end cage to the brake wheel. Between the air reservoir and the piston is the triple valve. Connecting all the components is a fine brass wire painted to match the car body paint. While we're taking these extreme close-up shots of the inside of the end cages, there's some nice printing on the inner car wall as well. Moving down the sides of the car, one of the more fine details is the separately applied metal grab irons. There's a single piece on the left side of the car, while the right side has the full ladder assembly. The left side of the car body also has more of the end cage details that were seen on the car end shots. The stirrups of the car are separately applied plastic pieces and painted to match the car body paint. The main spotting feature of the car body sections is the rivet details down the entire length of the car body, as well as the line of rivets down the horizontal center of the car. Some of the more modest details are the molded-in AEI tags and the tack board. Underneath the car body is a pair of the standard ScaleTrains ASF 100-ton trucks with the rotating roller bearing caps. The reporting marks are printed on the truck's side frames as well. The machined 36-inch wheels have 110,000th inch wheel tread and will work on all popular HO scale track codes. On the top of the car, there's not much going on, but it is a good opportunity to see the corner braces pieces a little bit better, as well as checking the internal bracing that was used. The prototype of the car was built using stainless steel wherever the coal would touch the car body, so most of what you see in the internal parts would have been stainless steel. The choice of stainless steel was due to the eastern Appalachian cold and its high moisture content that would freeze easily in the winter and make unloading the car very difficult. The steel car body would withstand the higher temperatures from the oil electric heaters that were used to try and melt and break apart the coal. A neat side feature is that the coal would polish the stainless steel over time whenever it was used for unloading or loading and would create a smoother, almost slippery surface that would end up reducing unloading times. Similar to the top side of the car body, the bottom of the car is very plain and does not have a lot going on. The most standout feature is the rivet details on the bottom of the tubs that can't be easily seen rolling down the track. With the car on its side, it does give some unique views of the detail parts mentioned before. The coupler cut bar attaches to the underside of the coupler box, so if you wish to swap out the couplers, some care will be required to not break the coupler bars. The trucks can be seen with the internal brake brackets as well. The actual weight of the gondola is pretty well hidden as the majority of the car is produced in plastic and is relatively opened. The end sills of the car are actually die-cast metal and feature an integral coupler box to provide the heft of the car, along with the die-cast center between the lower tubs. Finally, some more portions of the braking linkage system can be seen from under the car. The cars, as mentioned before, come with the ScaleTrains die-cast semi-scale metal couplers for solid operations. I ended up ordering 6 of these cars and compared the heights to the couplers to the KD coupler gauge. In all 12 couplers were low, ranging from about 10% offset to about 50% off. Adjustments were made to the coupler boxes, but still, after making them tighten down the boxes, the majority of the couplers were still low. The weight of the cars was also examined. The car bodies are just over 6.5 inches long, so the NMRA recommended weight is 4.31 ounces or 121 grams. The actual car weights were 3.35 ounces or 95 grams, a difference of 0.96 ounces or 27 grams, approximately a difference of 27%. Each wheel was measured for the correct gauge and found to be in the tolerances. The cars were knocked over slightly to check for body wobble and found that all the cars have a slight wobble to them. The truck screws were attempted to be tightened more, but the screw was bottoming out in the hole and could not be tightened anymore. The cars do not come with loads, and coal loads are available for ScaleTrains for the price of $5 for 2 pieces. The coal loads come with magnets installed for easier installation and removal. They are available in 2 variants, a symmetrical version and one that comes with an offset. If you plan on purchasing the coal loads, judging from the prototype photos, offset coal loads would be more correct for the East Coast, and symmetrical coal loads would be better for Midwest or Western coal trains. For the scoring section of the review, the score will be broken down into several categories, each with their own point totals, totaling up to 100 possible points. The first category is the packaging of the model, and it comes in the classic ScaleTrains packaging with the exploded parts diagram and information on the model details and prototype history. The paint of the model is very nicely done. The body paint is the oxide brown, and the majority of the printing is white, so that can usually be an issue having white paint or decals over darker paint colors. But for these models, there isn't any paint runs or fuzzy lines, with the printing sharp and crisp. Conrail had these cars built in the second half of 1997. The cars' paint schemes are accurate to the as-delivered schemes. The paint schemes did not have any major changes, and cars are relatively accurate up to today with minor changes. The details on this car are outstanding, and there's a multitude of very finely done molded on, as well as a plethora of separately applied details. The applied details are done in both plastic and fine metal pieces. There's nothing that I could think of that could have been improved on or added to the current level of detail. The couplers, trucks, and wheels could use some help though. The majority of the couplers were low, sometimes by almost 50% offset. The issue wasn't for a single car either, with all 6 cars having some sort of low coupler. The coupler screws were already tightened, so no more improvements could be made for easy fixes. Another easy fix would have been including the correct coupler for the model. On all the prototype photos, the cars were delivered with a lower shelf coupler instead of the normal coupler. The trucks were on par for ScaleTrains with the reporting marks and the rotating roller bearing caps. The cars operate pretty well around the layout, but may cause some issues down the line. While they are equipped with metal wheels and metal couplers, the metal couplers are low across the board, which may lead to decouples in the future. Another aspect was the weight of the cars. The cars are quite a bit off weight, and this can be fixed by adding a load to the car, but they should have proper weight out of the box with no loads. Since the cars are very true to scale, there's not a lot of room to add weight, so this may prove difficult for most modelers. I thought the value of the car was very fair. The $30 price point is a good point to strive to with the vast array of premium features like the overall details, couplers, truck sets, and wheels. For the miscellaneous section, I thought it was an interesting take to not include the coal loads, but it makes sense as these are primarily Eastern coal cars, so including the offset loads may look weird to Midwest or Western coal modelers. I am going to take away 1 point just because it seemed like there were several small issues that could have been easily fixed, like the couplers, the wrong couplers, and the weight. Taking away the points from the couplers, trucks, and wheels, operations in the miscellaneous section gives a total of 94 out of 100, or a solid A rating. Inputting the model into the spreadsheet with all the other reviewed models puts it nearby other ScaleTrains models in overall 7th place. I thought these cars were really nicely done, and ScaleTrains has once again gone and given modelers another high-quality premium model. I'm very happy with my 6 cars, and I think they'll be a great addition to my NS Coal Train, having some older brown Conrail cars mixed in with the aluminum Bethgons and some older Top Gons. Lately, I've been running them with simulated real coal loads, cinder-colored ballast, and they look very prototypical with the real coal loads. If you're modeling late 90s to modern era NS or CSX, then this is a great pickup for you, and even if it doesn't exactly fit your era or railroad, then this is a great showing for future Bethgons to come in more paint schemes. So that's all I got for you guys with my thoughts on these wonderful models, but tell me what you guys think or what cars you want to see done by ScaleTrains in future Rivet Counter releases. I know after seeing some of the operator paint schemes that I'll be waiting for more Bethgon announcements in the future. If you enjoyed the review, leave a comment and rate, and if you're interested in more videos similar to this one, then please subscribe. But that's all I got. Thanks for watching.